What's up, everybody? I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMovieScreenings.com, and I got another movie to review for you guys, and that would be Green Book. Now, this one is from Universal Pictures. It is directed by Peter Farrelly, and it stars Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali, and it tells the story of the 1960s where Tony Lip, who is played by Viggo, he is a white kind of jazz club bouncer. Sometimes he's a driver. He just kind of does a lot of different jobs to support his family. And then we have a Dr. Don Shirley, played by Mahershala Ali, who is a doctorate in music and philosophy or psychology. I forgot which one, but it's one of the P's. And so Dr. Shirley hires Tony to take him to all these concert venues so he can play his piano and bring his bassist and celloist with him to Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and even the Deep South, such as Alabama and Mississippi and Louisiana. And of course, since this is in the 60s, it deals with a lot with the rampant racism that was back in the day. And of course, with Dr. Shirley being black and being hired to play in front of a bunch of white people and stuff, it's very confusing for someone like Viggo Mortensen's character, who's just like, why do you put up with this and all that stuff? So it deals with a lot with that. So we kind of see the relationship on the road, and we get to see how the racism is portrayed, and how they both overcome it, and just seeing their growth as characters. That's pretty much what the story is about. And so, going into this movie, I was really excited. I loved the trailer. It seemed like a really good crowd-pleasing type of movie where you just want to root for these characters and just really feel good on the way out, even with the heavy subject matter such as racism and discrimination. It's just, it can be very heavy, but if you make it into somewhat of a lighthearted film, it's a lot more accessible to people to watch a feel-good movie while also being mature and smart about its subject matter. And so there's nothing wrong with that. You can always make it into a very watchable, very successful movie. And so, I cannot believe that I've been a fan of this director since the first Dumb and Dumber. I think Dumb and Dumber is one of the best comedies of all time. And he directed that with his brother, who is uncredited, Bobby Farrelly. And so, primarily makes comedies. And so when I saw the trailer, I was surprised when I saw directed by Peter Farrelly. I was like, oh, that's weird. The Dumb and Dumber and even like the movie 43 and Dumb and Dumber 2 guy. That's strange. So, the trailer was great. A little perplexed by the director, but I like the actors involved. So I saw the movie. I like it a lot. So, to break this movie down, I never thought I'd say this, but I think the director of Dumb and Dumber was probably the best pick for this movie. This movie in bulk is a road trip movie. It's a buddy movie. It's a relationship movie between these two people. What did I just point out to you? I pointed out Dumb and Dumber. That's the same exact thing, except it takes a more comedy route, and this takes a more comedic route for some of the film, but also a very mature, dramatic route. So it kind of balances between the two, but the kind of road trip sensibilities and the filmmaking and the pacing of this film, it reminded me a lot of Dumb and Dumber. So I think that's where Farley's, kind of instincts come in and really kind of plays out in true form, while also giving us some really meaty, emotional points in the film, as well as a lot of heart. I just think it's a really well-balanced film, bouncing and pinging across all these different genres and subgenres. It's actually kind of amazing that the same guy who directed Dumb and Dumber 2, which was his last big feature blockbuster film, directed this. So a huge step up from that, and so I thought he did a fantastic job making one of the most rewatchable movies I've seen all year. I could play this movie and watch it over and over again. It is so likable and so charming, while also being, like I said, really meaty in the emotional kind of groundedness of it, that is just a really well-rounded movie that I could see myself watching over and over again, never getting tired of it. And that is the director's job, is to, get the greatest performances out of the actor, but also making sure this is a really well rounded movie, a really well-paced movie, and just a movie that can play in front of audiences and almost anyone can enjoy and appreciate. So thank you, Mr. Farley. I appreciate you taking on this project and proving me wrong and showing me different stuff from your filmography. I really appreciate it. So going on to what everyone is talking about, which is Viggo and Mahershala's performances. They are the backbone and the heart of this film. They provide a lot of why people love this film. Their chemistry is off the charts. Their performances are off the charts. And there's a lot of complexity within their characters, and it could have gone south really, really fast, because Viggo in particular, he borderlines caricature. Not going to lie. He borderlines it in such a way to where, like, if he were just to go a hair hammier with his performance, it would come across as a caricature, and I would not appreciate it. But Viggo is so good at what he does. I, at some points, did not like the character. I, at some points, loved the character. And so that's what made it a really well fleshed out character, is because of his performance. And he was able to take the material and show us that he can be unlikable sometimes and kind of hard to work with. Show us that he can grow as a character. Show us that he can be lovable and really courageous when he's standing up for Mahershala, and really, really feel the pain that he sees in Mahershala's eyes. Like, Viggo is just that type of actor where he can show us everything. And so that's why I really like the characters, because he starts out in the beginning as a kind of an unlikable person. But he grows. He opens up his worldview of people, different cultures, different parts of the country, and that kind of opens up his mind to newer and better possibilities, instead of being so close-minded as a person that grew up in the same community as their parents and grandparents and stuff. So his character is fantastic. Then you get Mahershala's character, who he's always been a great actor. He can do no wrong. I'm excited for his future work. True Detective Season 3. But in this movie in particular, you see, and this is based on real life people, by the way, we have a black gentleman in the 60s who is affluent. He is up there. He is rich. Rich by that those standards. And, of course, he's really well educated. He's got a bunch of degrees. He's really good at playing the piano, but he doesn't fit in with either the white community or the black community. And given his sexual preferences in the film, he feels like an outcast. And so at some points in the movie, he is very confident. He's very boastful. He's really good at what he does. He is a literal genius. But then we see some scenes where he is taken back a little bit, and we get to see the reality hit this character, and we see him drink. We see him sad. We see the pain behind this person's eyes, because he in his eyes, he does not fit anywhere in the world. And that is so hard for anyone to realize, that you don't even fit in with the like black community, with you as a black person, especially during that time period. That's gotta hurt. Doesn't fit in with the white community either. He is literally in this weird gray zone, and we see this kind of pain that he's kind of facing throughout, and Mahershala does such a great job kind of doing both, where we see this very very confident man, then we see a broken man, and once again, well-rounded character, to where, to some degree, he was even closed-minded, and hanging out, ironically, with Tony, who would say some very questionable racist things, kind of opened up his eyes to a different part of, society and all that stuff. And throughout Tony's kind of weird relationship and friendship, they were both able to grow together. And so that is the core of the movie, is that relationship, those performances, and how they come across on screen. If those two do not work in the movie does not work. And yes, everyone that's praising this movie because of them two, rightfully so. But I do want to give credit for Farley and the crisp, clean cinematographer that shot this movie. It really kind of captures the time period well, while also just looking really kind of beautiful with the blue greenish car, and like the city life in these kind of small little towns. It's just really well done production design, costuming. It's a really good movie that's kind of impossible to hate. It's kind of lovable. And when the movie ends, I kind of wanted to see more. I wanted to see them go on more adventures together and really kind of just take on the world together, because they, in some weird way, their friendship worked. And I was really surprised by this movie. Like I said, with the beginning of the movie, with like the characters and them growing at the very end, kind of opening up their eyes to everything. It's a really well-rounded movie. It's not going to make my top 10 or anything, but I still really like it. I would suggest that you go see this movie. It is definitely going to be a crowd pleaser, and this thing is going to make a killing at the box office. I think it's going to be a sleeper hit. So I'm going to give Green Book a B+. So what did you guys think of Green Book, or have you even heard of it? Comment that places right below my face and let me know. And as always, guys, I'm Chase Lee, reporting for DallasMovieScreenings.com, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.